So we're finally going to cover the Citrine Double Thunder, Super Thunder, Dire Thunder build. So this is something that has popped up in my comments a few times where people have recommended that I make this particular unit. And after trying it out, right now I'm on chapter 16, I do have to say it's pretty decent. With this build, I would say Citrine is probably a solid A tier. Now, it does require that you upgrade her Thunder Tome. I obviously haven't maxed out yet. Once you max it out, it's definitely much better. But essentially, you just throw speed out the window and you just go for it. You just go for damage. You double with Thunder. Dire Thunder only works with Thunder. So to easily set this build up, to easily get the Dire Thunder ring, all you have to do, and this worked for me, and I also saw this on a forum post, as soon as you get Leaf, enter the next mission, leave, and then create 30 bond rings, and that actually worked for me. Like, as soon as you get Leaf, the chapter immediately after you get Leaf. Don't do any other things, enter the next mission. So you enter, and then you leave, and then you go create 30 bond rings, and in the third set, I was able to get the Olwen ring. I think that's what it is. It's like Owen or Olwen. But essentially what it allows you to do is, if you use the Thunder spell tome, you will always double, regardless of your speed, regardless of the enemy's speed. Now, this actually is pretty solid because you can throw Roy or Ike on it to boost the damage even further. And Citrine basically has no chance or very low chances of doubling because of her average speed growth. She doesn't have poor speed growth, she just has average speed growth. And in Maddening mode, that basically means you have bad speed. Now you can fix it, you can do things like Speed Taker, you could run Lynn on her, that would help her, you could get her speed passive. But this is such an easy brain dead way to get the unit online, and it's also really strong early game. I find that she's one-rounding most things that mages have no business one-rounding. So in this case, I'm able to kill this dude. The other nice thing about it is it makes her a glass cannon, but she also has poke range. So I honestly can say that I recommend this build, and I think it puts Citrine at A tier. It's very easy to get if you just do the thing I outlined, where as soon as you get Leaf, this might be the way to do it. Maybe you enter the mission twice and you get it on your first set of 10, but I know, as far as I can tell, and someone else tested it in my own comment section, so there's at least 3 people who have anecdotally done this. As soon as you get Leaf, enter the next mission, leave, create 30 bond rings, and I got the ring immediately. So easy way to get it, as far as I can tell. So let's go over the pros and cons of this build. Now, the cons of this build is you've made yourself a glass cannon. Her speed, especially if you throw Roy or Ike on it, she's gonna be one of the recipients of one round city. So what is one round city? One round city is when enemies or you one round a thing. So she is both a dealer and a receiver of getting one rounded. Now, it's not that hard to keep her safe because she has 3 range poke, and as long as you're just using basic tactics, you can use fire to delay enemies and poke enemies and do whatever you need to, she'll be fine. And then once you get Canter, she's insane because then you can just poke and then retreat, and you can just keep doing that. So these guys just got slowed down very conveniently by the water. But I could always have her just move up here, get danced, poke this guy, probably kill him. But it's a pretty effective build. I can't say how good it is endgame. From what I understand, if it does fall off endgame, someone mentioned you could just switch her onto Thoron and just put damage on it, and then, Thoron only hits once anyways, so it kind of enables her to still be relevant. But it seems like as long as her magic keeps scaling, she'll be fine. And if you run into damage problems, you could always feed her a few spirit dusts in her cafe meals, and she'll be alright. Now, is she the best unit for this? Let's see, so Ivy's... I made Ivy a Sage just to try it out. She also looks really cool on Sage, but she looks really cool in general, so... Alright, so her base magic is pretty good. 26 versus Ivy's 21 base magic. And they're both on Sage. And this Ivy has leveled up on Lindworm a few times. This video isn't about Ivy, but she looks really good on Sage. Okay, so... the Thunder build. Check it out. So you can do stuff like this. You could dance. Now I'm gonna see if I can kill this guy. I don't know that I can. 18 res. I actually might be able to kill him. 18 res, so I do 40 damage. Yeah, we have lethal on surprising targets. So let's demo this. Kill this guy. The nice thing about it is you can poke out enemy wolf knights, enemy sword masters, enemy archers, enemy mages, unless they're Thoron mages themselves. Also, spell harmony works really well with this. So the Sage helps boost the damage, and as long as you have other tome users nearby, she's constantly getting damage boost. But she essentially becomes like a mini Byleth user. Now, the downside, one of the big downsides, is that you can't run an emblem ring. So you're basically trading all utility from emblem rings and stat increases from emblem rings for this ability. However, it can never be stripped away from you because it is a bond ring, and bond rings are never removed from the game. So it actually is quite effective. And it definitely puts her at a minimum of A tier. Potentially S tier with like basic investment. Now it is on the back of, I don't know that I consider this an exploit to get this dire ring in this way, because honestly, I think the devs messed up by not using actual RNG. They did like this weird hard-coded system where it increments up and then like spits out a result. And as someone who's coded before, I can easily like tell you, like I can say with certainty that you can code random numbers. Like it's not like it's impossible. There's like functions built into coding libraries where you just like invoke a thing and then it creates random numbers. But this seems to have like a semi-random system where they try to have it appear random, but in reality, it's actually not random and it's like sequenced. So it's almost like it uses like some kind of table or something. I don't know if that's more efficient or why they would do that, but that seems to be the case. But yeah, this build is legit. It definitely is strong early game, and it requires very little investment, provided that this method for acquiring the ring is consistent. And as far as I can tell, it is. So for 3k bond fragments, you get one of the better mages in the game. Now, I've run Anna in a similar way, where I just gave her Byleth, and she was like the siege mage, and her speed was high enough that she could double at like 4 to 5 range with Byleth active. And that was very similar to this build, except the difference between that is Anna takes more time to get going to some degree. I'll do a guide on how to quickly level Anna up without using any weird exploits or anything like that. But I would say overall, Anna can like take a hit better, but this build is more like consistent because you can guarantee it will double, so you can completely ignore speed thresholds. So it's a very solid build. It's really good on Maddening. And honestly, Citrine is a pretty decent unit for it. Now, can other units do this similarly? She has high base magic, so I do not like this outfit on males. It's clearly like a woman's outfit. They should, like, why can't they give the males a cool Sage outfit? Like, why do they have to just take the female outfit? But Pandreo, it's every time I see him in that outfit, I just feel bad for him because his priest outfit looks good, but this one just looks like very, very crazy. But him on Sage, like, he clearly has less magic stat than Citrine, so funny enough, she does have high magic stat, which kind of makes her uniquely good at this Dire Thunder build, because even if you're just a few points of magic lower, you would be dealing significantly less damage because it's a doubling build, and if she's plus 5 magic on other units, that's 10 more damage per combat, so you can see, or like, you know, based on what I showed earlier, she was able to one-round an enemy Pegasus Knight, who are usually high in res. Now, it wasn't a Griffin Knight, so a little bit of an asterisk there, but it was still something that's usually like relatively res tanky and also relatively fast. So it bypasses the speed, and in some cases, because of the magnitude of her attack, it bypasses the res as well. And even this, like 38 magic attack on this, is pretty good, and this should scale well into endgame. And if you want to improve it, you can always put Ike on it to get it to +4, run magic +2 on her once you get Celica back, and start boosting her damage in that way. Honestly, I'm not even going to run Canter. I'm just going to go straight for damage, because I feel like positionally, I can play around this, that I don't have to worry about her getting caught by stray attacks. And I'm also running a Martial Master Lucina, which means that no matter who the adjacent ally is, they have 100% block rate. But she can still get doubled, so I could combine that with a Chain Guard to prevent her from getting killed by anything. But yeah, that's it for this one. Definitely try it out. Let me know if that Leaf ring creation thing works for you. Overall, this is a pretty solid build that's very consistent, and I haven't really witnessed it being bad. The only times it's bad is when everything's bad. So the only times it doesn't pop off is when you're attacking like a high speed enemy that's dodgy, but then everyone suffers with accuracy against these enemies, like Sword Masters and high-speed Griffin Knights and high-speed Thieves and stuff, and Wolf Knights. But even then, it still's like 70% hit rate. So it's definitely not like uniquely suffering. Like everything suffers hit rate issues against these types of enemies. So that's it for this one. Definitely like and subscribe if you found this interesting or cool. Feel free to drop a comment as to other unit builds that you would like to see me cover, or if you have any suggestions or ideas for videos, I'm always open to them, and I'll see you in the next one.